Welcome. This is the Drupal usability meeting for March 12th, 2021. I'm Benji Fisher, moderating the meeting, and also present are Aaron McHale, Anmol Goel, Christina Chumias, Gaurav Malawat, and Paul Driver. Thank you all for joining us. And Aaron is going to start us off.
Yeah, so this is regarding issue 3199971. And that's the
7.2.
7.2. You are right. Yes, 7.1. I have no idea what issue that is. So this is regarding updating help text on account cancellation screen. And we probably want to retitle it and update the issue summary because it's sort of grown slightly since just help text. But so this is we've looked at this issue a couple different meetings. Actually, you can see them here, the last two, and we're really just bringing it back for a third time just to kind of polish off and finish off the recommendations on it. You can see this is what the interface looks like at the moment when you go to cancel an account. So we can see we've got the sort of the four options with the description, asking you to when cancel the account, choose an option. Information requiring email confirmation, some additional text, and then of course the cancellation buttons. Now this is I believe this is the most recent iteration on it, and so you can see quite a bit of a difference here in terms of we've taken the text that was above the buttons and we've removed it. But we've taken parts of it and changed the description, or I guess the label that appears above the options, to just select the method to, and it gives you the options, adding the word permanently before the delete options, simplifying the text around requiring email confirmation, and also changing the primary action button to just say confirm. What I've also done is there's a couple of issues that I've sort of closed or postponed on this issue, and you can see them at the side. In one of those issues, which thank you to Benji for transferring over some of the credits on that issue, they were proposing actually a button text of apply changes. Now, I think personally confirm is a much better choice of words here, and I noted that on the issue. But I'm assuming, because that was what we settled on last time, so I'm assuming we're still happy to progress with our recommendations being confirmed here. I think apply changes wasn't it didn't really work for this screen, I think, because this is in a lot of cases an unrecoverable change. It's not something you can simply apply and then revert, so that was my thought of thinking on it. And I'll just scroll right down here just to make sure, because this is where we got to last time. This was from the last meeting, and since then, yeah, we've got an updated patch with an updated screenshot, which I believe, yeah, that was the one we just looked at. So I'll close off those. So we did agree just to bring this back for a final look once that screenshot had been put there. And I also asked for a couple of screenshots from the user's perspective, and I'll just see if I can open these up to make it more obvious. So for someone canceling their account themselves, because I realized the patch made changes to that interface. So you can see this is what it looks like right now. And then this is what it will look like in the future. And it's subtle. There's not much changing here other than, again, the button text changing from cancel account to confirm. And then the paragraph in between here below the heading gets slightly shorter. So it basically removes this action cannot be undone. It seems that's the only thing that the patch will result in changing on this screen. And I think that's a sort of side effect, because we're looking at the patch, there was some sort of string concatenations going on. So that changes, I think, a side effect more than anything else. But if we are happy with sort of this action cannot be undone being removed from this screen, then that will be the effect of that patch. Of the latest patch. So that is kind of where we're up to, and I'll actually open up the latest screenshot as well. So yeah, I think it was really just to get and make sure we're all like super happy with this interface, and this is the one we want to recommend going forward with, and also just to confirm that this this is also okay in terms of going from what we can see in this interface to then it being slightly simplified, and obviously the button text changing. Hopefully that was a good summary for everybody.
So the second sentence here, all of your content will remain attributed to your username. Does that change for the various use cases where some of them give it to anonymous, etc.?
So I think it, that's a good point. I think it would. I'll just double check in the, I'll just quickly check in the patch because oh, that's not coming up, is it? I think this is the core text. Yeah, I think this will change depending on what we've got. I think I actually have a Drupal site up here, so I think we can just, I do, so I think we can just actually check on here. I don't know if admin can, no, admin can't cancel their own account. So let me just go and really quickly add a user here. That's a terrible email address.
Will you be able to see the, would actually send you an email?
No, you know what? I'm just going to make a really quick user and then I'll log in as that user and it shouldn't notify me of that account. So I think it did it. Oh. Let me just check I can log into that.
I assume you're logging in another window. We can't see that.
Yes, I am. I was just opening a private window. Well, it didn't seem to add it, so let's try that again.
So my opinion is that if the text doesn't
working.
change depending on what's selected, that is a bug and is not strictly related to the current issue. So, so let's not spend everyone's time testing this.
The only concern I had, the reason I brought it up was we changed some of the text in permanently delete, etc. in the last two. I just didn't know if we needed to make certain that that carried through to anything else if it was related to that text.
Yeah, I'm not, unfortunately, I'm struggling to create an account on this other site. So on this site I set up, so I can't quite test it at the moment. But yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like the only, yeah, I don't know if it is worth just trying to figure out what the text would be. Just gonna see if I can.
I do agree we don't need to spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah,
but,
Aaron?
It's possible that there's cruft out there. Like this message says the cancel a lot on it. Are you sure you want to cancel your account? Cancel. That's confusing because if you want to cancel your account, you want to press confirm, not cancel, which is the same problem we were already solving. So this looks like a different bug, but related. And it is the same behavior and more confusing because a person using your site is more likely to not have the context as to what it is specifically that they're doing. But I do like confirm better, and I'm going to hush up now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely follow up on that outside meeting. I have one quibble about the text in the first screenshot, but first, anyone else have opinions on this? And my quibble is that as one of the few Americans on this call, I get to assert my dominance by saying that I believe Drupal adopts American English spelling. Am I wrong?
I don't know actually.
I've heard that.
That's
I have
accurate.
heard that in the past.
So can you go back to the either the live version or the screenshot on the main issue?
Oh yeah, so this one.
No, not this one.
Are you thinking of like the top screenshot here,
Yes.
the original UI?
This screenshot.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now, when a word ends in L and you add a suffix like ing, the British standard is always to double the L. The American standard is to double the L only if the accent is on that last syllable. So canceling should have one L.
So that would be, because I think in this interface, we kind of removed the, well, actually, we do have cancellation here.
That too.
So that would change. And then in this one, yeah, see this one.
Emily posted in the Zoom chat a link to the coding standards, but I think that's a few clicks away from the user interface standards, isn't it? Or Emily, do you want to comment out loud?
Yes, I was just saying it does confirm that it uses American spelling.
Yes, we rule the world.
Okay. Okay, I'll note that on the issue just as to make an update
Spell,
to.
you mean.
Because I think so. I think it would. So is this the only place that would have to change then? So cancellation would be this word then, I guess.
And canceling on the
Oh, is
screenshot
that-
that was on the main issue. So
Yeah, so we're removing this instance though. So this text when canceling the account changes to select method 2.
that's going away. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
Maybe it is only that one.
I will have a look for any instances, but I think those would be this would be the only one then. Okay, so it sounds like everybody is happy with the latest this interface here. And then I guess it would just be, I can go away and get slightly more clarification around what happens with this interface. And if this is the only, if the text here changes. Again, I don't know, did we agree, was that something we wanted to look at in a follow-up issue, or because the patch isn't doing too much more to this other than changing the button text and removing this part of the sentence?
I'm happy postponing that to a follow-up issue.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, great. Well, that's good. I will I'll put a summary on the issue then.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
And maybe this is a good time to mention that a couple more people joined the meeting, Emily Nouveau and Thomas Howell, both of whom spoke up during that discussion. So thank you for joining us. And I have an issue queued up that I could share, but before I do, does anyone else have something they'd like to talk about?
I don't.
Okay, so give me just a moment and I will bring up the issue. Here we go. So for the recording, this is issue 271-3327. Let me jump to the top of the page. Provide a way to remove migration tables, ID map, etc. And this is part of the Migrate API, which is something near and dear to my heart, which is used, one use is to upgrade sites from Drupal 6 or Drupal 7 to the current version, but also has many other uses, such as regular imports of feeds and so forth. And anytime you're migrating data into Drupal, migrating content into Drupal with the Migrate API, it keeps track of of the source and destination in some extra database tables that it creates. Now, especially when you're doing a site upgrade from Drupal 6 or Drupal 7 to the current version, when it's all done, you don't need these tables anymore, and we should provide a way to remove them. We don't want to remove them automatically because there are some problems that can come up where it's really important to have that information, even though you might not notice the problems until you think you're already done and you've disabled the migrate modules and so forth. So we don't remove them automatically, which I think is a good thing. And I guess I have a test site where I've run a migration recently. And in the navigation, under reports, we have the upgrade log, which is already there. And then the upgrade tables is the page added by this issue. It's a sort of annoyance from the process, but unrelated to this issue, that a couple of blocks are enabled in the admin theme that probably shouldn't be. So the page actually starts here with this text. Database tables related to the following upgrades will be deleted. This is a process that is not reversible. If you delete the tables, they cannot be restored. These tables can be useful after the upgrade for troubleshooting. Delete them only with caution. And then there's this table which lists the upgrade and then the machine name of the database table. You can select all of them, or you can select just some of them. And presumably at the bottom, I'm not entirely sure what this bottom part is. I imagine that if you've removed the module providing a migration, you might end up with an orphaned table, and it would appear in this bottom table. And then there's the button to delete. And let's just check the confirmation form. Again, this is a process that's not reversible, so on and so forth. It confirms the tables you've chosen to delete and provides you with a delete button. And of course, the text at the top, are you sure you want to delete upgrade tables? And the annoying blocks that are unfortunately added by the migration process. So any comments on the text or the process in general?
A super minor concern, I don't even know if it's a concern, but I had to reread the database tables related to the following upgrades will be deleted multiple times, because I didn't realize that. I thought those were the tables, user picture, display configuration. It just didn't make sense. Like my brain didn't process. And maybe if I did this, it would make sense. Just stepping in, looking at the screenshot, I didn't realize those weren't supposed to be tables. Those were processes, or whatever an upgrade is.
So are you talking about this confirmation form here, or the
confirmation form here, second line, database tables related to the following upgrades will be deleted. I didn't realize those were defined as upgrades. That's it. I think it's, again, it says it at the top, or do you want to delete upgrade tables? It's just calling them upgrades. I didn't understand it. That's all. I don't know if there's a way to change it. I just wanted to share it as a thought in case someone else had a similar opinion.
Would it help if we added the name of the database table, maybe in parentheses?
I think that would be tremendous, especially if someone wanted to use MySQL or something else so that they could dump that particular table for whatever purposes. It would be less opaque.
Yeah, I think that's a useful idea.
Okay. So on the form where you select them, they're listed. It's probably a pretty easy change to do that. Yeah, I wonder about the text here. This is a process that is not reversible. Maybe we could be more consistent, like the issue we were just looking at. It follows the more usual pattern. So what is the text
Yeah,
at the end?
I think I would agree with what you just said there.
So this action cannot be undone is the standard text, and we should probably use the standard text. I guess we're still using that on the other issue, right?
Scroll down a sec. You'll see the next screenshot.
Oh, this is the current UI. So we've actually removed that from.
We did that in favor
of saying permanently.
Yeah, permanently was the.
Okay, but the boilerplate text that Drupal uses in many places is this action cannot be undone. We should probably follow the existing pattern.
Yep.
There's another point, which is whether to use the word migration in user interface text. And a couple of recent comments on the issue discuss this. Migrations, as I said, are used for site upgrades, but they are also used for other purposes. And so on the one hand, if you're using a migration for another purpose and you refer to upgrade tables, that's inaccurate. On the other hand, if someone does an upgrade through the user interface, we try to avoid in that process any reference to the word migration. We always try to talk about upgrade. Is this something that needs review by the usability team, or is this a question that we can leave up to the people working on the issue? I sort of think that the lack of response, if anyone is trying to respond, you forgot to unmute yourself. But I kind of think that the lack of a response says that this is something we're willing to leave up to the people working on the issue.
Yeah, I'm just personally, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I would, and I haven't done many, if any, migrations recently. For I did one migration from PHPBB to Drupal like some years back, and that is an example where that's not an upgrade from a Drupal to Drupal. That's a migration of data from one system to another. So I'd be on the side of avoiding explicitly using the words upgrade.
Yeah, that was a better way of saying what my concern was. Is I was getting confused by the word upgrade in this context.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful because when we use words like update, upgrade, and migration interchangeably, sometimes it can lead to confusion because in Drupal, those words all mean different things. Like when you're doing updates or upgrades, they're kind of interchangeable in the sense of like, oh, I'm upgrading my version of Drupal, so I also have to run update.php. Like that's the process you would use those words, whereas I would avoid those words when it comes to migrations, because then you don't confuse you know those words to mean something else in a different context.
Okay, so we're actually getting a consensus, I guess, to use migration rather than upgrade. Presumably the link then under reports would change to either migrate tables or migration tables.
Yeah, because that if that would really, if I saw that, that would really throw me, because like if I didn't realize that was part of the migrate module or set of modules, then I would expect other things to be there, like copies of tables before I did like ran update.php or something.
Yeah, it's I guess it's difficult because we are serving different purposes and different audiences, and the text that makes sense to one audience is going to be confusing to the other audience. But I guess we can certainly work out and provide a link to the correct page, to the pages that are routinely seen by someone doing a site upgrade. Okay. And after a little bit of wordsmithing on these, do we want to have this back for a re-review, or again, is that something we can leave? I will personally have a look at that revised text. Do we want to see this issue come back to us again?
It might be useful when, like we did with the previous issue.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. I guess a last call. Does anyone have other issues they'd like to bring up? You've been keeping to yourself until now. On the issue for the usability meeting, the text that gets copied over every time has a link to issues that need review. We sometimes go to this list during the meeting and open up an issue and try to see what needs to be done. I feel that's not a good use of everyone's time, that it really helps if someone has reviewed an issue before we bring it up before currently 7 people on today's meeting, but it's not an overwhelming number. There are 40 issues in the needs review state with the needs usability review tag. So, feel free to go through that list and see if there are any you want to bring up at the next meeting. There are 3 that are labeled major. But I think we'll just call it a short meeting for this week. And thank you all again for coming and helping out.
Yeah,
Thank you
that
very
sounds
much.
good.
No problem.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.